Welcome to the Fall to Grace. This is a podcast where we hope to bring a grounded, practical approach to spirituality and mystic wisdom. I'm Cyan Niehoff,
And I'm Connor Hatton.
and today we're talking about the heart chakra, the center of love, and how it feels to have a closed energy center in your heart or an open energy center in your heart, and the value of having that part of you be open.
Beautiful.
So,
Take it
yeah.
away. I love it. Yeah, thanks. No, I think this is
Yeah.
an important topic. I really, really think that any spiritual aspirant needs to pay a lot of attention to this aspect of their lives. I wanted to talk about having an open heart and what it means to have an open heart and how do you keep your heart open more than anything. I think the biggest things that we're facing as kind of a population and as a society, especially as like young people who are just inundated with reels and TikToks and like so much that could keep me home and keep my heart closed and keep me in comfort. That's so much of what our economy and society is directed towards, is like just buy things and go home and be at peace and like revel in your comfort. And heart opening is very uncomfortable. Heart opening is really doing the opposite of those things. It's about, being in community. It's about showing people around you that you have genuine care for them and love for them. So keeping your heart open is a very deliberate act. And that's why it's so important, is it's something that we have to be working on constantly. It's not enough to just consider yourself a loving person and like say, I'm a good friend, I'm a good family member. I show up to the things. It's like, no, but how do you show up to those things? How are you showing up to your job? How are you showing up to your work? And what that means for us. Because having an open heart is it's a complicated experience. It makes the experience more intense that we have in the world. Having a closed heart makes it a lot easier to move around. You're not necessarily worried about everybody around you. You're just getting through your day, like getting to your objectives. I'm getting through the grocery store. I'm getting through my job. I'm getting through social interactions, whatever it is. When you're having your heart open, like those experiences become far more intense and there's a lot more to consider. But the benefit is immense. And like sitting and being able to relax into that love is like one of the great joys in my life, is just basking in that genuine affection. And the more I open my heart, the more I see the benefits of it. But my heart likes to close, and it does this on its own. And that's why keeping the heart open is a deliberate act, is because I like to think of it as like a slow, like big, heavy, like freezer door, like a walk-in freezer. And you can, it takes a whole bunch of effort to open. You do these heart opening experiences, whether it be like a plant medicine or a ceremony or church or whatever it is. And you pry that door open and you pull it open, it's heavy, and you open it. But the moment you leave your ceremony, or the moment you leave church, or the moment you leave the community space, like that door just starts to close slowly and slowly and slowly. And then I decide I want to stay in tonight and watch movies. And then the next night I want to stay in and watch movies, and I don't want to talk to people. And that door just closes and closes again. And then it slams shut. My heart's closed. I'm having a bad time. I'm thinking about myself all the time. And then I got to go do a ceremony or go to church again, pry it open, and then the process starts over. So I think keeping your heart open is the name of the game. We have heart opening experiences, but keeping and staying in that place is the deliberate act. And that's what we have to really watch for, day in and day out.
Yeah. And I think like where I want humanity to get to, the next level of human consciousness, the next phase of human consciousness will require us to open our hearts, because as it stands, society wants us to be automatons. Like, we are not really supposed to have complete open access to our hearts as the culture stands, unfortunately. So, and I mean, you can see it, like when there's unconditional love between people, all kinds of systems start to break down. Um, how can you hate your neighbor when your heart chakra is fully opened? And unfortunately, like so many of us, if you use the chakra system, you don't even have to, it doesn't matter really. But So many of us are just stuck in the first 3. Like, it's really hard to access the 4th, the heart, because, we're so concerned with our, like, primal desires. So concerned with like, we have, these monkey minds, which is what humans look like when they're living in those first 3 chakras, rather than, like, when we start to open that 4th one, the heart, we just start to have this, like, compassion that gushes out, and it does hurt. In fact, for me, I'll say, like, it physically hurts even. It actually, like, feels like sometimes, over the past, like, 6 months, feels like I'm having, like, a heart incident, like a heart I don't know, like a heart attack or something, like, minor. But I've talked to a few spiritual leaders, spiritual teachers about it, and they're like, "Yeah, that's normal, that's fine. Like, that'll happen." So I'm like, "Okay, it's fine. I'm very healthy. I don't even eat red meat anymore." So I'm like, I definitely don't think it's actually something related to my physical heart. I think it's something related to, like, the kind of pain body of my spiritual aspect of my heart. I know it sounds crazy, but and then in a more practical sense, like, we've all experienced opening our heart and being humiliated for it in one way or another. Like, there actually can be repercussions from opening your heart. It's still absolutely worth it, but, people who don't have open hearts and who aren't living from that place of compassion sometimes will hurt your feelings, if they sense your tender spot there.
You know, I mean, I think that this is a bit about that intensity of the experience. Like you're saying, like opening your heart makes you open to people and it makes you receptive. And you're receptive
Mhm,
to the good parts of them and also the negative aspects of them. And so when we haven't really tended to our fear, an open heart is a very terrifying experience because, if
mhm,
I open my heart and this person does reject me, then I'll be out in the wind. And that's a lot of the fear that we live in. And that's a lot of the justification that we have for keeping our mind or our hearts closed. Whether we can verbalize that or not, that's a lot of the reason that we choose to stay in. And that's a lot of the reason that we, complain about not having friends, but are really afraid to go try and find them, and complain about not having partners, but we're really afraid to go talk to somebody at a bar or a restaurant or whatever it is, because we're deathly afraid of that rejection, right? The heart, in some ways, the mind tells us that it's safer to have the heart closed. And so this is the feedback loop. And you just have to do. There's so many things in this world that we have to have the courage to try in order to see the benefits. If you want to overcome some of the greatest fears that you have, some of that requires a little bit of action to understand that that's not necessarily what's going to happen. I very rarely get outright rejected by perfect strangers that I've just opened
mhm,
my heart to. If I'm trying to date them or something, I'm opening a new kind of door. But in terms of just having an open heart in the world with me, I don't experience that much pain. That is kind of a perpetual fear. And that's a perpetual fear for many people. It's like why social anxiety exists. Like the experience of social anxiety is like, what if they hate me? What if I do it all wrong? And it's totally not heart opened. Um,
mhm,
the other thing that this is, it's 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 trying to navigate this tension between our selfish existence and a selfless existence. Our selfish existence and what you're talking about, like with our society and like our economy, like it's all based in this idea of like you are going to live in this world and you are going to work exclusively for yourself and you are going to ladder up every single decision to try to make your life better. And so you're supposed to be very individualized and you're supposed to be very focused on yourself because that's what they want you to be, right? Like, and kind of how
mhm,
we are. And that's a lot of the philosophical debate around these systems. Um, but when we start to defy that, we start to open up into this experience that you're having, which is infinite compassion. It's less diametrically opposed to the person across from me. I'm not in competition with most of these strangers, and yet sometimes I have the experience that I am. And why is that? And it's because my heart is closed and I'm very scared. And that's a really
mhm,
painful an experience in itself, right? Like the fear also creates a lot of suffering in us. And it creates perpetual worry that the only thing I can do is like turn out the lights and turn on the TV and like just zone out. Um, so we have to make this decision. I mean, I think you're really underscoring the necessity of an open heart, even though does come with all that fear. I mean, like, have you experienced any sort of pushback from having a more open heart? I know you're on this journey, which is also why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, this is very pertinent to where I am because I feel like you, Connor, are like a little ahead of me in this particular regard. Haven't experienced any pushback, certainly not as much as the mind would have led me to believe if you'd asked me a year ago or 5 years ago. But it has been a journey because that freezer door slowly shut from the time I was a child, up until now. Like, as a child, I lived with such an incredibly open heart. And through a multitude of experiences, I learned that the world really wanted me to have it closed. And so I started closing it. But the more I open it, no, to answer your question, I would say I have experienced very little pushback. And all the pushback I have gotten has certainly been worth it for the benefits. Like, when you live with an open heart, other open-hearted people can smell it from a mile away and come and find you, and you get these really extraordinary, tender relationships that kind of it doesn't even seem to matter age or race or where they're from. Like, I have so many incredible friends these days, you know? I just like and I'm so grateful, and I keep finding these communities that are filled with other people who are just so fucking kind. It's amazing. So, it's worth it. And if you think about the things in society right now that have kind of been built, someone along the way in the building of these constructs must have had an open heart, like public libraries, national parks. Like, so many of my, like, favorite things about being on Earth are because someone had an open heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
Jazz. Like, all these just, like like, the pinnacle of human expression, the pinnacle of the human experience, it all has to do with an open heart. Like, yes, it's scary, but, like, you're not really gonna get the peak experience, and we're not gonna get to the peak of what human society could look like unless we really start to take the leap of faith, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but how about you? How would you answer that question?
I mean, just to like what you were saying a little bit, like the thing I've learned having opened my heart and like sometimes against my will, like
Yeah.
the other thing that can happen with like either opening your heart or having an open heart is you're like more susceptible to experience, right? Like so many of us experience this like when we get a dog, we get a puppy, and then we're looking at this puppy all day long and all of a sudden we're just puddles, right? Or we have a
Mhm.
kid. Like a lot of people have their first real heart opening experience like when they hold their firstborn and they go, I didn't know I could love something this much. And that's the experience we have is like, when I'm loving something, like there just couldn't be anything going wrong. Like when I am in active love of a person or a thing or whatever it is, like nothing could be better. And having a big open heart and having some of the experiences I've had, like nothing can be better. And so what I've learned along my journey is that like I was prioritizing the wrong things because I was looking for, the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect living situation. I was prioritizing things and I was chasing things. And that's a lot of what we do. And that pursuit is pretty easy to do with a closed heart. It's almost easier
Mhm.
to do with a closed heart. If I'm willing to like screw over people in my way, I'm willing to be kind of strategically manipulative, whatever it is, I can get ahead. And the goal was to get ahead. And since I've opened my heart, and again, like against my will, this was an act of God that opened my heart as much as it is. Um, I realized that like I don't want those things nearly as badly as I want the love. When I sit in that love, I go, there's nothing else. Like, I don't need a bigger house. I don't need better food. I don't need better
Right.
people. I have this love. Like, how do I
Mhm.
get more of that? And I realize that that is the human experience, that the mind lies to me and tells me that having the things and having the people and having the status is the most important thing. And those are the things that I should be chasing. When I open my heart, I realize that I don't really need to chase anything. All I need to be doing is focusing my effort on keeping the store open. And the rest of the stuff matters less. So I'm a big proponent of opening your heart. Because I think everybody would be able to relax a little bit once they realize what's already available to them, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You don't have to work super hard to get a 6 or 7 figure job. You need to work really hard at a couple of relationships and like learn to listen to people and learn to love. And if you can do that, you'll have more joy than you ever would have had with that bank account. And it's lasting. So,
Yes. And it
so,
grows, actually. It's more than
mm,
lasting. It continues to expand.
some would say infinitely.
Some would say infinite, which is why I love also that visual of the door, because truly it's just a matter of opening the door. Because like really we're just conduits. Like we kind of just have to like pop the top off or pop the top off our chest or whatever and like let the love pour in and out. It's infinite. Like it's not something that we're creating. And I think that's another misconception that people have, is that it's exhausting to give love because it's something that we're generating from our hearts, and that's not true. The better we get at opening our hearts, the more infinite we realize it is. So it's just we're just accessing it, and it becomes easier and easier actually to access it. And if you're feeling that you're not reciprocating it and that's bothering you, then that means you haven't quite accessed it. Hopefully it means you're closer. I'm sure you're being very generous in a way, but it means there's still some ego wrapped up into it if you're still um like, well, I did all this and they didn't reciprocate. Well, then it's not like
Yeah.
it's not that true love then, it comes with strings attached.
Yeah. I mean, you're touching on a very important nuance, and it's the nuance that it's the common thread through all of these spiritual topics and considerations. Like, how much of my ego is in it, right? So many of us love in order to be loved,
Mhm.
and we are in the experience of wanting love. And so we go to people hoping that they will give us love, and we act in ways that we think will cultivate their love. Like, oh, I'm kind, but I'm only kind because I want people to be kind to me. Like, I'm very affectionate, but mostly because I want people to be affectionate to me. And I'm very outgoing because I want people to talk to me, right? If ever I have underlying motivation that is rooted in my personal gain, my heart stays closed, right? Even if I am being as loving in reality as I personally feel I can be. I've done everything I could be. I gave them a hug. I told them they look good. I said thank you. I, you know, asked them to tell me about their kid. Like I was here. Like what? Like we do this, right? Like, and we just are not getting the sensation that we want back.
Mhm.
And it's just because we're so focused on getting that sensation back. Like what I've realized is that I have to just be concerned with giving. I cannot be concerned with receiving anything. The joy of having an open heart is in the loving. It's not in the being loved. Like the being loved comes, but I could even give a shit about that. Like I'm so happy people love me, but for the most part, I am more pumped if they let me love them. And I
Very
do
true.
this and I do this all the time. Like I tell almost everybody I see in a day that I love them when we part. And that
Mm.
is not out of like my need for them to feel loved. Like I'm not thinking like, oh, they'll feel good if I tell them I love them. It's like, no, I'm reminding myself over and over again that I love everybody and that I want to treat everybody with love. And so I bring it into my life very constantly because I want to keep that heart opened, not because I need you to love me. If I need you to love me, I am so fucked. Like, and so is everybody, right? And everybody operates this way. It's, I need everybody to love me. And you're always going to fall short of that. because there's
Mhm.
always somebody who's like, just totally like, who are you? I've had so many weird interactions today. Like, it's so wonky. Like, that could throw me off if I'm worried about them loving
Yeah.
me, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I've left like interactions with gas station workers today, like worse off, just because it's been so awkward.
Sure.
And if
Yeah.
I'm worried about like what people think of me in that situation, I would have left mortified. But I don't really care. Like, it went fine. I was kind. They were kind. Like, well, you take out all the drivel with an open heart. It's just like, oh man, like, we made it through buying that water bottle, like whatever it is. So the open heart infiltrates all aspects of your life. Like, it just pervades through all aspects of your experience, and they get better and better and better. But you make one little decision to go home early or to not go to that thing you said you were going to go to, and it just starts closing. It's
Mhm.
so subtle. It's a little decision to close my heart. And I say, maybe I don't need to talk to that person today. Like, I told him I'd call him, and I don't really feel like it. And a week later, my heart is
Yeah.
entirely closed. It's crazy insidious.
Well, it's just society. Like, it's the way planet Earth is set up. And like we as you open your heart, you have to realize that a lot of people are not willing or at this point capable of doing the same. And so there will be weird interactions, and it's okay. Also, it is true that like kind of crazy, and putting this in air quotes, crazy people will kind of find you. And like, I mean, we've been talking about this because
I
I don't
mean,
know, just
even that, like, comes with a little bit of neediness, right? Like, I felt like it's before my heart was actually open, I was very concerned with appearing loving, right? Like, I needed you to, mostly because I needed you to like me, and I needed you to give me that validation. Like, I attract needy people when I'm needy.
Mhm.
And so if I like project that I'm giving off all this love and it's all free, and that I'm somebody you can talk to about anything and all these things, like, I get a lot needier people,
Mm,
in my life because because they're attracted to that kind of energy and I'm giving off needy
yeah.
energy. So having been just like a little bit more open, right? Like, I'm not approaching that interaction with that gas station worker as like, this needs to go perfectly. This is how I used to approach life. It's like every little interaction like needs to go perfectly. They need to leave it thinking that I was really funny and really great. Like, now I have a real open heart and I can walk into that gas station, have an awkward experience and leave feeling pretty good because it
Mhm.
was just, he was kind. I was kind. We were just getting through it. Like, I wasn't doing like how's your day? Like, how's your family? How's your life? Like, how is it working here? Like, all of these questions and
Yeah.
things that I used to ask to prove to you that I had an open heart when in reality I didn't. Like,
Yeah.
it's a, is it open or isn't it kind of question. It's not, yeah. And if you're still seeking personal gain, you're always going to be disappointed with this experience. And you're going to come back and
Exactly.
complain to us, and you're going to say, I was so nice to this person and they were mean to me, and now I'm never going to open my heart again. Like, you've missed the point.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say with the crazy people too. It's just like when you turn the light on, all kinds of bugs are gonna come to the light. And that's okay. It's good. Like people who have a closed heart but, really admire that you have an open heart are gonna come. People who like just all ends of the spectrum are gonna be like called to the illumination. So and that's all good. I think you just like that's just one thing that is a little unexpected to me as someone who used to have much more severe energetic boundaries. Now I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like come one, come all. I mean, I still have energetic boundaries and it's important too, but um I don't know. You just like let weird shit roll off your back, I think more.
Yeah, definitely. And you're not getting punched in the gut. Like, that was always the big fear. You're kind of talking about like the next stage of things. Like, the first
True.
stage is like opening it and how are people going to respond and things. And now you're in this phase of like, all right, people are responding well, but sometimes it's inconvenient.
Right.
Yeah. But you can have boundaries
You
and
should.
be
Of course.
loving, right? Like, and
Yeah.
that's a huge part of this too. Is just like you can lovingly set boundaries. When you do everything with
Mhm.
an open heart, like the open heart is what wins out. Like I can set a boundary cruelly, or I can set a boundary with an open heart, and the actions may not be any different. It's like I need you to, I don't know, text me less or whatever. And people like if when I say that with an open heart, people go, "Oh, great. I totally understand. Sorry. It was overbearing." And I say, "No, no, no, no worries. Like it's always been fine. I just can't get back to you in like
Mhm.
the way that I'd want to." Right? And that's very different than like, "Please stop texting me so much." And
Yeah.
that leaves
Well, like,
everybody
getting
feeling
off on the
horribly. Like
cruelty.
the love
Yeah.
prevails. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love prevails always, as long as it's allowed to be in the situation, which is what you're talking about, right? Like in that door analogy, like our job as spiritual people or as people in general is to just stand there and hold the door. Like all of our actions should be laddering up to how open-hearted I can be in a situation for the most part. But we always walk away. We always go like, "Oh, there's something more. I got shit to do. I can't stand here holding this door. I got to go
Mhm.
eat or what, like whatever it is." We always think there's something more important, and we let the door close. And all of a sudden, this boundary that I thought I was setting with love becomes very cruel. And the only difference is that my heart is now closed versus open. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about what you're saying. Like, it all comes out fine if your heart is open. You can feel love in people that does not come through in what they're saying. You can feel
Absolutely.
fear in people that is not coming through in what they're saying. We are very energetic beings, and that transfer is
Mhm.
not in what you say or do, it's in how you show up. So the
Mhm.
goal is to just show up with an open heart, leave with an open heart, keep it open overnight, and go do it again.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, if you this is what I mean when I said you can easily get off on being cruel. It does kind of feel good for a second to be cruel or, like, to set a boundary and be like, "Haha." Um, yeah, I don't know. But that's then, going into the lower chakras and again, like, getting wrapped up into the power component of it all. And with a truly open heart, we're sharing. It's in a society where people had open hearts and parents had open hearts. Well, first of all, capitalism couldn't even exist in a society where every person had an open heart. It just wouldn't need to. We would share. I mean, we would literally just want to help each other because it feels so good to help each other. It's when you are helping another person, it's this Leela or play where like you get to be like God. You get to be similar to how Jesus acted. Isn't that
Mm.
beautiful? Like, that's the
Love is the
most
only
beautiful
thing that
play.
we can love is the only thing we can give each other that is anything remote to what God gives us. I think that
Yes.
is really interesting, yeah.
Yes. So, I don't know. I mean, there would just be no need to, kick the immigrants out or just do these terribly cruel things that the politicians seem to want to do. There would be no need. It would actually be more difficult in a society run by open hearts to do the cruel thing. It wouldn't it and it truly, if you think about it, if you kind of feel about it as opposed to think about it, it really doesn't make sense to do the unkind, cruel thing and to hurt each other when we're a social species who needs to work together. It doesn't make any sense to not live in our hearts. It's less rational.
Agree. Um, I think capitalism is extremely loveless. I think that's part of
It
what
has to
bothers
be.
me about the system. Yeah, it does have to be in order to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about, like if we were all just more loving, everything would be better, right? Like there's so many of us that sit on the sidelines and just bitch about how things are, politically, socially, whatever it is. And we do this with a very closed heart. And we go, I don't know why things aren't changing. Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world."
Classic.
I always thought that this was about like opening an orphanage and like all like opening a food bank, like doing something huge with my actions to change everything. Like, no, the idea there is like, because most of us want to be loved, and that's the experience we have. Like, I want people to love me. I want a partner. I want good friends. I want, right? If you want all of those things, then go be all of those things. Be a
Mhm.
loving partner. Be a good friend. Be a good family member. Like, if you want to see that kind of change in your life, you have to present with that. Like, this is something that Bashar was always talking about, which is like, if you like, you're looking in a mirror, the world is your mirror,
Yes.
and you're looking in the mirror, frowning, and you're waiting for the reflection to smile. Like,
Mhm.
no, you have to be the one to smile. If you want the reflection to be smiling, you have to make that change. So this is why I again want to emphasize how concerted this effort needs to be. Like, if you want more love in the world and you want to see more love in your life, you have to be that love and you have to bring it in.
Absolutely. I think if I had to sum up the concept of manifestation with one word, it would be stewardship. You have to learn to be a steward first before you get the thing that you desire, because you'll never be able to hold on to it if it comes and you're not a good steward yet. Like a relationship or friendship, like you have to be a friend first, or else how like you or else like good friends are not going to want to stick around, quite frankly. They're going to want to go be good friends with other good friends, you know? Other kind, open-hearted people. Why would they want to hang out with someone who isn't kind and open-hearted yet? That's a skill. In so many ways that's a skill. So, like learn to be a steward, be willing to be a steward, go put it into action and then it will come, period. Like that's what it means to operate at the vibration of your desire, is to put it into practice before it gets here, you know, to treat like I've been thinking about this. I have a very tiny shoebox apartment right now, and I treat it as if it's a little palace, because why wouldn't I? This is the place I live right now. So I need to be a steward, and maybe one day I'll have a fancier schmancier place, or maybe I won't. It doesn't really matter. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So, like, how are you being a steward in your community? How are you acting in your relationships as they stand? Or how are you acting in the world? Are you smiling at people? Are you being kind? Are you being open hearted? How are you expecting the world to be open hearted to you when you are not being open hearted to the world? Like, you have to get it, have to get that locked down first,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, it's an incredible point. I mean,
Thank you.
a lot of us have this experience. Yeah. A
Mhm.
lot of us do just have this experience of like, why don't I have love? Why don't I have, I mean, we just always think that not necessarily that things should be given to us, but we wonder why things are certain ways without examining our own behavior and how we're showing up to situations. So the essence of the spiritual journey is very simply realizing what I can control and doing it and taking action and trying to lead with love. It's pretty simple that way, and everything around you starts to change, right? The reflection starts to reflect the internal uh
Mhm.
disposition, and that's what we want. And but that's not even the goal. I'm telling you, oh, big open heart, sitting in love, you don't need anything but more of that love. You just that is such the joy of our experience, and it's written all over the hippie movement. Like, we have these moments of cultural recognition where it's like, oh, it was always about love, always anyway. Like, we're all having a way better time when we're being loving, and then our heart closes, and we get back to oil prices, and we
Right.
go, oh yeah, those guys are like, I mean, we just find so many reasons to not be loving. And so we have
Mhm.
to find the reasons to be loving. And the reason to be loving is that I enjoy love. That's all you have to have. It's just like, I enjoy loving people. When you cross that threshold, which is what I was saying, you're on the second stage, right? And it's very different than the first stage. The first stage is crossing this threshold of realizing that loving is actually pretty fun and a good experience. Like, approaching a situation deliberately and saying, I'm going to show up with love. I don't care what comes back to me out of these people. Like, I'm just going to listen. I am going to be open hearted. I'm going to try to consider them, and I'm going to be kind. And then I just don't need anything out of this situation. I don't need them to like me. I don't need them to tell me how awesome and loving I was. Like, just go do that. Don't tell everybody that you were very loving today. Just go do it. And you realize that that's the reward. But you have to have the courage to have that experience and like give that a shot. And most of us don't ever do that because it's like work. Or they're like, that sounds scary. And so
It
we
feels
shut
like
down.
work. It sounds like work. Yeah.
It is work. But you should be doing some work. We need to be working. And these are the things that we need to be working on. If I spent 40 hours a week opening my heart, the world would be a better place.
The world is a better place if you spend 40 minutes, 40 seconds opening your heart, though, is the amazing thing about it.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. I want to give people some action that they could take to open their heart.
Okay. Stop fucking with your microphone, though.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's not configured well. It keeps falling. Yeah.
I didn't say that very lovingly, did I?
I mean, you did. You can say that shit with an open heart, right? Like, I know you love me. I love you. I am objectively fairly mean to you at times. And I think you kind of get it, that it's not like malicious. I'm just fucking with you.
No, I would much rather have authentic meanness. I mean, I would much rather, like, authenticity is the thing. And that's what and that's what people get irritated with about some of the hippie movement is the inauthenticity of like, well, Starlight and Moonshine and I are all going to have an orgy and it's all free love. But it's like, you know, if it's coming from ego, you can sense it no matter what. So like authentic meanness from someone with an open heart will always trump inauthentic niceness, you know, with the closed heart. Like,
it's so much work to pretend to be loving.
Yeah.
And like just try to demonstrate how free my love is, like behind that ego, right? Like, and that's why what you're saying is coming through, because it's way more about them. But it's all the things that they've done to prove that they're loving. Like, I went to this and I went to that and we had this orgy and whatever, you know. Yeah, it's effort, it's posturing, and it's boring. And, you know, you don't get any of the real experience. You don't get the love. And when you don't get the love, what's it for? So yeah, I think there are some things that you can practice doing to be more loving. The first of those is to listen. It is to practice listening to people.
Yes.
A lot of people, I am astounded at how much we are thinking about ourselves, myself included. Like, we think about ourselves 99.9% of the day. And then we hold a door for somebody and we walk away and say, I was loving in a day. And it's ridiculous. Like, being a more present person for the person across from you is probably the fastest way to open your heart. And it is giving yourself permission. It is saying what I just said, which is, I am going into this interaction to listen as well as I can, and I'm going to see what happens. We need to take that approach. Yeah. What are you thinking about that?
Really? Well, it was cool. Just, this is neither here nor there. I wasn't going to say anything, but it was kind of cool. You spun in your chair, and right as you were making that point, I guess you have blur on, and there's a Hanuman behind you, and Hanuman, like, unblurred, but just him. He's not even doing it now. But you did it like 3 times as you were talking about, like, selflessness. Every time you did, it'd, like, zoom in on him practically. It was cool. Anyway, keep going.
Nice.
Hanuman is the spirit of service, listeners.
Yeah. That was going to be my next point, too.
It is.
Which is to take actions that are entirely in service to somebody else. And the essence of an action in service is not expecting anything in return. It is doing something, either holding that door or getting something for somebody, or, you know, helping somebody find something, whatever it is, without expecting a thank you, without needing, I really appreciate you and helping me with that. A lot of us act kindly with that expectation. And that like creates a structure. That creates like a convention, which is like you wave when somebody lets you in. Like that's pretty loveless, but it's a kind act. We want to avoid loveless kind acts. We want loveful kind acts. And service is probably the quickest route to this. Find somebody to be kind to. Call a friend and just listen, right? Do something entirely in service to somebody or something else. Clean the temple, which is what you like to do when you feel your heart grow, right? Because it's entirely in service. So channeling a spirit of service is a quick way to open your heart, and a very concrete way to see it.
And don't
The
tell
last
anyone
thing I
except us.
yeah
You should send us, if you've done it, you should let us know, but don't tell anyone else.
yeah, and we will anonymize it and tell somebody else.
Yes.
Because anonymity is important here, right? Like do something without anybody knowing that you've done something good, right? Like go clean a temple, go volunteer and tell nobody that you did that. That's a huge aspect of spiritual development. You'll grapple with like how badly you want to tell somebody how awesome you are and how good a deed you did. Like just don't do it. Don't tell anyone. Just do something good for the sake of goodness. And that's service. And then the last thing is that there are a lot of heart opening experiences. Like if you feel like your heart is very closed and that those things may be difficult, and even if you did them, you don't know if you could do them wholeheartedly, like there are ceremonies for this. We run kirtans. And kirtan is all about opening your heart. Being in community can open your heart for you when it's difficult to open on your own. You can go sit in cacao ceremonies. Cacao is very heart opening, as well as some other practices. It doesn't have to be kirtan, it doesn't have to be Hindu based. There are Buddhist traditions like this, there are Christian traditions like this. Just find yourself into a space where heart opening is going on and let that experience open your heart and then keep it open. This is like the integration aspect. All these people go do ayahuasca, it opens their heart a million times bigger than it's ever been, and then you go, I got work on Monday. Better start thinking about how I'm going to get ahead. And you lose it all, right? You just shut that door. So once you've done that, just keep it open. Take small actions every single day. Pet dogs, pet cats.
Yes.
Like all
Look
of these
in
things.
people's eyes. Like someone
Look in
you
people's
already
eyes.
love that you like don't have to try very hard. This is, I think, the easiest way to get there is look in your like kind of immediate field and see what's closest to you. So for me, my dog, like she's a herding dog too. So she's always like an inch away from me. That's very easy to open my heart to. You know what I mean? And then people you spend a lot of time with, they're probably like the next in the order. Like really look them in the eyes, and even if you don't even do something helpful for them, remember that they have a soul. Just have a moment of like awareness that there's a soul inside of them and they have a heart of their own and they have thoughts of their own. And then you can start to do that with strangers, you know, maybe do it in the car next to you if you spot a person. Like just start slowly but surely. I know it sounds obvious. It's like, wow, she discovered empathy. That's crazy. No, but for real, like we have to rediscover empathy every day, all day, or else we become self-obsessed. That's what humans do. So, yeah.
I mean, empathy is useless without an open heart too. And the difference between empathy and compassion is the open heart. Like, and compassion is way better than empathy. Empathy is often empty. It's like, oh,
but
I
empathy
think
is
that,
a gateway drug. So.
yeah, but it's like, I think that would make them feel bad. Compassion is like, oh, damn, that would make them feel horrible. I would never give somebody that experience. And that's just infused with love. But that's kind of a side thought. But
I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I think when you have that thought where you do look, you're on the highway and you like look around and you think, wow, all these people have somewhere to be, families who hopefully love them, hobbies, thoughts of their own. Every time I think that, I'm like struck in my heart all over again. I'm like, ah, beautiful. You know, I think that is a heart opening experience to recognize the soul in everyone, I guess.
it is.
Never gets
It's
old.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last suggestion from me, but like do that. Go into a situation. Everybody loves to be loved. everybody wants love, right? We've kind of established that fact that most of us are operating in a world like asking for love and validation, affirmation all the time. Go give that to somebody. Go call somebody and just be like, "Hey, I just want to tell you that thing you said the other day really stuck with me. I'm really thinking about your family that you told me was having problems." Like, just do that kind of service, or call them and ask them about their issues and just listen. Call them and just listen, and don't say anything about you. Say nothing about your day, say nothing about your life, say nothing about your problems. Just ask them questions about their problems and their lives. And you'll start to feel into some of this. And you'll walk away, and it might take like 2 or 3 hours after that conversation, because you'll have a little adrenaline going from doing this for the first time. And you'll be laying in bed at night and you'll be like, "Ah, damn, I feel good." Like, it's subtle. It's not a reward. It's a heart opening of chakra. It's an opening of a channel, right? Like, let it seep into you and through you. Give it that time. Give it that space. But like you said, everybody, this world would be immensely better if we all loved each other and we all expressed that love and we all lived with love in our hearts more than anything. I mean, some of this is like walking around. I love trees when I have an open
Yeah.
heart. I love
Trees love
cars
you.
when I have an open heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, when my heart is open, it's not just about being kind and showing love to people. It's like everything is easier. And there's less
Everything is
reason.
so intense.
Yeah, it is
Less reason what?
intense. No, this is intense, but it's worth it. I mean, the intensity is so much of what we're seeking. Purpose,
Mhm.
meaning. That's that intensity. Is it's showing you that this is the true purpose and that this
Mhm.
is the true meaning. That's why it feels so intense. Because you're like, damn, like, whoa, I've never felt this intensely. That's God just being like, this is it. This is what you're supposed to be doing all the time. It's not always going to be that intense. It will be initially, but it calms down, and then you bask in it. It's like being on a beach on a sunny day.
I don't know if it calms down. I wonder if you just kinda get used to it.
Well, it like all things, it's pretty undular, but yeah, it's good.
Undular, ooh, good word.
Good. Mm,
Meh. Sick. We both wore green, color of the heart chakra.
on accident.
Celebrate. Yeah. I guess we should end it there. We could really talk so much more about this. Who knows? Maybe we'll make a part 2. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm always down. It's one of the biggest things that like we're in charge of. You're not in
Yeah.
charge of that much. You're in charge of keeping your heart open. You think you have to do all
Mhm.
these things all the time. You don't. You have to keep your heart open. It's your task. Sit
Yep.
here and hold the door. Sing to God. Be kind. You know?
Yeah.
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 Talk to your local tree and ask its name
Hug a
and
tree.
touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hug a tree. It's yeah.
Yeah. Hug a dog if you can't hug a human. Like, find a way to inch yourself into this.
I think dog is a great place to start. I think if you have a pets, we have fewer hangups about loving openly. So,
Yeah. They come without all the fear.
yeah. I guess we're back to an every other week schedule. I don't know. It just happened that way. So, I assume we'll see you guys in 2 weeks unless we get a wild hair up our ass to do it next week, but, yeah. Thanks for listening.
We love you very
We love
much.
you.
Thanks for listening. Give us a
Thank you
like,
for
give
listening.
us a comment, give us a any sort of social interactions are good boosts for creators.
Yep, that's what I hear. Subscribe, please. Wherever you're listening, please subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And give us a rate and review wherever you're listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.